Princess Diana's tragic passing in a 1997 Paris car crash left the world in mourning for the people's princess. But what if death itself was merely a veil, not an ending? What if the echoes of life and the spirits of her ancestral home, Althorp House, called her back into their ancient embrace? This piece explores the documented ghostly encounters at Althorp House in Northamptonshire, England, where Diana Spencer grew up and now rests. These accounts are drawn from staff members, family testimonies, and historical records, spanning centuries of supernatural activity at one of England's most reportedly haunted stately homes. Althorp House has served as the Spencer family seat for over 500 years. The current structure, predominantly built between the 16th and 18th centuries, rises from medieval foundations deeply rooted in the rolling Northamptonshire countryside. Diana Spencer's early years unfolded within these ancient halls. Her laughter echoed through the vast gardens, and her nights were spent in rooms where generations of her lineage had drawn their last breath. When she was laid to rest on a small island in the estate's oval lake, she joined a long line of Spencers who, according to local legend, never truly departed their beloved family home. The ghostly tales of Althorp House predated Diana's passing. For generations, the Spencer family and their staff have reported encounters with spirits from the past. The most frequently cited apparition is known simply as the Grey Lady. This enigmatic figure, a silent sentinel, has been witnessed across countless centuries, drifting noiselessly through the main corridors and manifesting near the grand staircase. Some have even identified the Grey Lady as Florence Nightingale, who reportedly lived happily at the house for many years. Margaret Whitworth, a former housekeeper who worked at Althorp for 37 years, recounted her encounter with the Grey Lady in a 1983 interview. While cleaning a reception room late one evening, she noticed a woman in an old-fashioned grey dress at the room's far end. The figure materialized with startling solidity, yet an ethereal chill emanated from her presence. Margaret's voice, a hesitant query, met only silence. As she stepped closer, the figure thinned into shadows, leaving an unnatural chill behind. The main corridors of Althorp House appear to be focal points for supernatural activity. Staff members have reported hearing footsteps echoing through these passages when no one else was present. The sound adheres to an unvarying rhythm, commencing at one end and progressing with a deliberate, unhurried pace, as if an unseen resident were taking a contemplative journey through their enduring home. The footsteps sound purposeful yet peaceful, never hurried or threatening. James Fletcher, who served as the estate's groundskeeper from 1975 to 2005, experienced something particularly unsettling in the main hall during the winter of 1991. While conducting his evening security rounds, he heard what sounded like a woman crying softly. Following the sound, he found the entrance hall empty, yet the crying continued, seemingly emanating from everywhere and nowhere at once. He described a sound of profound heartbreak, a desolate wail. The weeping ceased with abrupt finality the moment the electric lights illuminated the space, abandoning him to an unnerving quiet. Lady Georgiana Spencer, the famous 18th century Duchess of Devonshire, is another spirit said to inhabit Althorp House. Her life, marked by celebrated beauty, ruinous gambling debts, and tumultuous personal affairs, was a dramatic tapestry that, it seems, continues to unravel beyond the grave. Her spirit has been reported in various parts of the house, but most commonly in what would have been her private quarters during her lifetime. Mrs. Patricia Hughes, a tour guide at Althorp during the 1990s, had multiple encounters with what she believed to be Lady Georgiana's ghost. The first incident occurred on a quiet afternoon in March 1994. Patricia was alone in a drawing room when she felt someone watching her. She spun to face a woman arrayed in elaborate 18th century finery standing by the window. Powdered hair, piled high, crowned her head, and a pale blue gown, intricately detailed, flowed about her. Patricia blinked, disbelieving, yet the vision wavered, then unravelled into nothing, as if swallowed by the room. Lord Charles Spencer, Diana's younger brother, has occasionally spoken about the strange occurrences in his family home, though he tends to be reserved about specific details. In a 1999 interview, he confirmed that multiple family members had indeed encountered inexplicable phenomena within Althorp's walls, characterizing these experiences as disquieting, yet not overtly terrifying. He mentioned that his children sometimes refused to play in certain areas of the house, claiming they felt uncomfortable there. The supernatural activity at Althorp House took on new dimensions after Princess Diana's death and burial on the estate. The island, her final resting place, accessible solely by a slender footbridge, has transformed into a nexus of reported unusual experiences for both visitors and staff. The oval lake itself, a tranquil expanse crafted in the 18th century, has forever been regarded as one of the estate's most serene locales. Since Diana's burial in 1997, there have been numerous reports of her spirit returning to places that held meaning during her life. At Althorp House, these encounters have been particularly frequent and emotionally powerful. Sightings of Diana's spirit differ from other ghostly inhabitants of the house in their intensity and the profound emotional response they elicit. Thomas Brennan, a gardener at Althorp from 1995 until 2010, described several strange encounters near Diana's burial site. On multiple occasions during his early morning rounds, he reported seeing a figure in white near the lake's edge. The figure would appear to be standing quietly by the water, but whenever Thomas approached, it would disappear. He described these sightings as profoundly peaceful, devoid of fear, asserting that the presence felt distinctly protective, never menacing. The memorial temple, built to honor Diana's memory, sits on the opposite shore from her burial island. Visitors to this memorial have reported unusual experiences. Some describe feeling an overwhelming sense of peace and comfort while standing near the temple, as if someone were offering emotional support. Others have reported a fleeting trace of her signature perfume, light yet impossible to miss, subtly permeating the air, even when no living soul nearby wore such a scent. It is worth noting that the temple was originally built to commemorate a naval victory and was later dedicated to Diana. Anna Richardson, the estate's visitor coordinator from 2000 to 2015, meticulously documented several particularly compelling visitor encounters. One family from Scotland, visiting the memorial in 2003, reported seeing a woman in a white dress near the temple at sunset. The figure appeared to be looking across the lake toward the burial island. When other visitors turned to look, they saw nothing, but the Scottish family insisted the woman remained visible to them for nearly 5 minutes. Inside Althorp House itself, encounters with Diana's spirit have been reported throughout the rooms where she spent her childhood. Staff members describe a presence that feels distinctly different from the other spirits inhabiting the house. While the Grey Lady and other ancestral spectres seem to be mere echoes from a distant past, Diana's spirit reportedly feels immediate, contemporary, as if she were merely paying a quiet visit to her childhood sanctuary. Mrs. Carol Preston, a cleaner at Althorp from 1998 to 2008, described multiple encounters with what she believed to be Diana's spirit. The first occurred in one of Diana's favorite bedrooms. Carol was dusting when she suddenly felt someone behind her. She turned to see a young woman with blonde hair wearing a simple white dress. The figure smiled warmly before fading away. Carol stated the encounter left her with an unexpected calm, as though acknowledged in silence. This particular bedroom has reportedly produced some of the most emotionally powerful encounters at Althorp House. Visitors on private tours have described feeling a bittersweet weight, sorrow balanced by serenity in this room. Some report sensing a presence sitting on the bed or standing by the window, looking out at the gardens where Diana once played. The very atmosphere in this room is often described as thick with emotion, as if the space itself retains the indelible imprints of both joyous childhood moments and the profound sorrows of Diana's later life. At Kensington Palace, Diana's former London residence, there have also been numerous reports of her spirit being sensed or seen. Palace staff, though rarely speaking publicly about such matters, have privately shared accounts of unusual experiences in the apartments where Diana lived. These include the distinct sound of footsteps traversing empty corridors, doors inexplicably opening and closing, and the subtle sensation of a gentle presence within rooms that held particular significance for the princess. Security personnel at Kensington Palace have reported equipment malfunctions in areas associated with Diana's former apartments. Motion sensors inexplicably activate without discernible cause, and temperature readings exhibit unexplained, sudden fluctuations within rooms that were integral to Diana during her lifetime. While these incidents could have technical explanations, their frequency and location have led some staff members to believe they might be connected to Diana's continuing presence. Visitors to Kensington Palace sometimes report emotional experiences while touring the public areas. Many describe feeling unexpectedly moved to tears or experiencing a sudden wash of reassurance, quiet but undeniable, particularly in the rooms where Diana's belongings are displayed. Some visitors have reported brief glimpses of a figure in white in their peripheral vision, though these sightings are never sustained enough to be definitively confirmed. The charitable organizations that Diana supported during her lifetime have also reported unusual experiences since her death. Staff members across several of these institutions recount feeling her palpable presence during pivotal events or periods of profound difficulty. While these experiences are highly subjective and could be attributed to the emotional connections people felt to Diana's work, the consistency of such reports across multiple organizations is noteworthy. Back at Althorp House, the main residence continues to experience supernatural activity that many believe has intensified since Diana's burial on the estate. One of the most frequently reported phenomena involves a sudden bloom of floral scent, roses in winter air where none existed, throughout the house, particularly during winter months when no roses bloom in the gardens. This sweet floral fragrance manifests suddenly, only to dissipate with equal swiftness, its source utterly undetectable. Staff members have learned to associate this smell with increased supernatural activity, often reporting other unusual occurrences on the same days the rose scent appears. Some believe this rose scent might be connected to Diana, given her love of flowers and the extensive gardens created in her memory. The library at Althorp House, which contains thousands of rare books and manuscripts, has its own collection of ghostly tales. Several staff members have reported volumes dislodging themselves from shelves in an empty library, invariably landing open to specific significant pages. The books involved are usually histories of the Spencer family or volumes of poetry known to be favorites of deceased family members. Upon examination, these open pages frequently reveal passages concerning love, profound loss, or poignant remembrance. Since Diana's passing, some of these library phenomena have conspicuously involved texts detailing her life, or volumes known to be among her cherished personal favorites. The estate's chapel, though small and simple, hosts its own supernatural occurrences. Several visitors have reported hearing what sounds like quiet prayers or hymns coming from the chapel during times when it was officially closed and empty. The acoustics of the intimate stone structure defy any possibility of external sounds creating this effect, yet the phenomenon persists, consistently reported by credible witnesses. A select few visitors attest to discerning Diana's distinct voice amidst these ethereal sounds, describing a gentle, intimately familiar tone, offering words of solace or an otherworldly stillness, hushed yet steady. While these claims cannot be verified, the emotional impact on those who experience them is undeniable. Many describe feeling a soft tranquility, as if gently upheld, or spiritual comfort after these encounters. Visitors during the estate's public opening times have contributed their own accounts to the growing collection of supernatural encounters. Numerous visitors describe being overcome with intense emotion while traversing specific rooms, particularly those that bore profound significance to Diana's formative years. Some report hearing children's laughter echoing through empty corridors, as if the happy memories of young Spencers at play have somehow imprinted themselves on the building itself. Several visitors have reported encounters they believe involve Diana's spirit specifically. These include abrupt sensations of solace during moments of personal anguish, the subtle, gentle caress on the shoulder while contemplating Diana's childhood photographs, and the undeniable feeling of profound understanding and acceptance during emotionally charged moments within the house. The main staircase of Althorp House has become particularly notorious for supernatural encounters. Across decades, multiple witnesses have recounted seeing the Grey Lady gracefully descending these stairs, the faint rustle of her grey dress, a spectral whisper accompanying her passage. The apparition always appears to be heading toward the main entrance, as if she were preparing for an important engagement that never comes to pass. Yet, in addition to the Grey Lady, some witnesses have reported seeing a more contemporary figure on these same stairs. This apparition is described as a young woman in modern dress, moving with elegant grace down the staircase. Unlike the Grey Lady, who appears distant and detached from the present era, this contemporary figure appears keenly aware of the living world around her, occasionally seeming to acknowledge the presence of mortal observers before subtly dissipating. The reports of Diana's spirit at Althorp House and beyond represent a fascinating intersection of grief, memory, and the human need to maintain connection with those who have passed. Whether these encounters represent genuine supernatural phenomena or the power of suggestion combined with profound emotional attachment remains a matter of personal belief. What cannot be disputed is the consistency of reports from reliable witnesses over many years, and the profound emotional impact these experiences continue to have on all who encounter them. At Althorp House, where Diana's earthly remains rest on the peaceful island in the oval lake, the boundaries between memory and reality, between past and present, seem permanently blurred. Here, in the house where she laughed as a child, and where she now lies in eternal rest, Princess Diana's spirit, it seems, has truly found its way home, joining the countless generations of Spencers who have consecrated Althorp House as one of England's most profoundly and enduringly haunted locations. If you've enjoyed this story, please consider liking the video and subscribing for more. Thank you for watching and supporting the channel.